Get that fucking trash out of your life. You have legacies to build. We grew that business from 3.4 million to 17.1. Horsepower, not horse shit. You want to be the parent that's an ally. They don't need another fucking friend. Not everybody's cup of whiskey. Toughest advice for the toughest businessmen. Be relentless. Just heading in to get my daughter Emery at school here. I wanted to tell you a quick story about how I made 110 real dollars, American dollars, in about 91, 92 minutes earlier this year. Totally by accident. It was one of the greatest surprises I had this year. It started with me doing a free 90-minute webinar on how to sell your business. So I've sold multiple businesses. I built up the barber shop, the hockey team, my window washing company, and of course my McLean insurance agency. And I've always built them with the goal of selling them, right? I'm one of these guys, I never fall in love with my business. It's all about what can I do over the next 10 years, 15 years to maximize this sale, to walk away into the sunset, right? That's what I do. Businesses are created to be sold at their maximum peak. So I was doing a webinar on this, 10 ways to sell your business for maximum money in minimum time. And I was sharing how I had done it in the real world, like no bull, no fluff kind of thing. And I had about, I would say, I'm just going to guess, about 70 guys on the free training. And this is going back a year. I just written my book. I was just getting my consulting company going. I was shooting daily videos, but I was just getting going. So I had about 70 guys on this webinar in the afternoon. And I talked about the 10 secrets that you need to sell your business. It's a really popular topic, and the guys loved it, and there's a lot of value in there. Like, you know, there's a method to selling your company, to getting it prepared, and it's one of the things that I love to teach in my mastermind programs is, you know, when you build this thing, how can you sell it for the most money? So at the end of it, I did this. Out of the blue, I just mentioned what I was coming up with. I said, okay, it was like a PS almost at the webinar. It was just the Columbo close, right? Where just one more thing. And I mentioned a 8-week world building program that I was starting up, and I was going to charge $10K a person, 10 grand a man, and I was gonna teach you for 8 weeks, twice a week, my world building, how to build a world you never have to escape from, your business, your life, all that kind of stuff. And I just mentioned it. I talked about it for maybe 40 seconds. And I talked about how it was $10,000. There was no refunds, no guarantees. I want serious students. It's an 8-week online program. And if you want to be part of my world building beta test, instead of 25 grand, I said I'll charge you 10, but that's just because it's the first trial. And I get off the call and I go home. I pick up Emery at school, and I get an email from Mark Andre, and he said, we just made $110,000. And I was like, pardon? And he was like, we just made $110,000. And I was like, okay, how did that happen? And he said, you have 10 guys that raised their hand and applied for the World Builders program. 10 grand times 11 guys, 110 grand. And by the way, I closed all 11 of those guys, so it was more than I ended up with 13 guys, so 130 grand. But nonetheless, by mentioning it in the PS of the end of the webinar, something nobody even knew about, I had 11 guys raise their hand and say, I want to be a part of that, Michael. So $10,000 in 90, 91, 92 minutes, whatever the training was. Accidentally. I didn't have the training to do the world building. I wasn't selling the world building. That was going to be down the road. I had to scramble then and get it ready. I was there to talk about the selling your business. But it shows you the power when you have an email list of what you can do when it comes to putting on special trainings. Could be a Zoom call, could be a webinar, could be a podcast. None of that stuff is any good if you don't have an email list to promote it to. Like if I run a jewelry store, there's a special trainings I can do twice a year for free or paid and talk about certain things about jewelry stores, how to protect your jewelry. If I'm an insurance agent, I used to put on 2 trainings a year for 60 minutes, one on ID theft and one on cybersecurity. And I would have thousands of people on those webinars. And then I would pitch a product at the end. I'd pitch something for $97 or $197, whatever it is. And I'd literally walk away with 40 grand in my pocket for like a 60 or 90 minute training. And sometimes I did them paid. Like sometimes it would be $19 to attend the webinar, or sometimes it was $47, whatever you want. But whatever industry you're in, whether you're in the flooring business, the restaurant business, the insurance business, the financial planning business, the real estate business, when you have an email list, you can put on a training or twice a year, a Zoom call, a free Zoom call. You can either charge people to attend, make it a hot button topic like ID theft or cybersecurity or artificial intelligence would be something big. And then you promote it to your email list, and hundreds of people will pay to attend or offer it for free and then pitch a product at the end, and you'll make thousands of dollars pitching it at the end. This is the power of the honey that makes the money. And you can't do any of that stuff by social media. You can't fill a Zoom call or a webinar on Facebook or on YouTube or any of those other platforms, but you can do it if you own an email list and you have a relationship with it. And it doesn't have to be a big list. My list was 100 people, then 500 people, then 1,000 people, then 2,000 people. But you can have a nice little list of 400 people and end up getting 40, 50 people on a training that you're gonna get them to pay for. So these are the ways you can position yourself as an expert in your whatever your industry is, as the number one jeweler, the number one flooring guy, the number one restaurant guy, the number one insurance agent, the number one gym owner. That's how you do it. But you gotta have an email list. You gotta build an email list from scratch. You gotta email it once a week and build a relationship. And then it's the honey that brings in the money. It's literally the 8th wonder of the marketing world. And I call it that because it's almost free. Sure, you have to pay for the software. I'll show you what to buy. But as you build that email list, it's something that'll feed you the rest of your career. And then when you're done, you can literally sell your email list to somebody. I sold my McLean Insurance email list for $500,000, 63,000 emails for $500K. And that was separate from the original sale. That bought me another house. Are you kidding me? It's the honey that brings in the money. It's affordable. An email can be cash flow that you use to buy a vacation, put in a swimming pool, pay your kids' college fund. But what I used it for was to subsidize more physical mail. So I would take the money I made from email and I would pour it into flyers and postcards and television and radio ads. You don't have to do that. You can do that or you cannot do that. You might put it away as a nest egg. But every time you press send once a week, you sit in your boxer shorts, you personalize a 10-minute email that I wrote for you. It doesn't even take 10 minutes. And when you press send, you're gonna make yourself $500, maybe $1,000, maybe $2,000, maybe $3,000, whatever it is. And then it's just found money. It's the honey that brings in the money, and then you can decide what you want. But every time you press send, literally you're making $500, $1,000, $2,000, $10,000, and it's the honey that brings in the money. And it's not expensive like newsletters and paper and ink and flyers and postcards. It's how I built my barbershop. It's how I built my hockey team off the ice. It's how I recruit it. And it's how I built my monster insurance agency. Email. And I'm telling you right now, just like I said earlier, like it's how I made $110,000 accidentally earlier this year. I only had a little list of guys that I had from my old insurance company. I sent out a handful of emails inviting them to this free web training. I wasn't even trying to sell that product. I was trying to sell, I think, my book, and maybe to see if there was any interest in a selling your business program. And I mentioned this 8-week world building program, and the next thing we know, there's 110K sold by mentioning it at the end of the training. You think you can't do the same when you collect some people into a Zoom call or a training? Of course you can. That's the power. So let me take you by the hand this year and show you soup to nuts how to do this. If you don't have money to spend on expensive marketing, you're tired of delaying, you're tired of dragging your feet trying to do a newsletter or a flyer or YouTube or all this horse shit. Just build an email list. Email it every week and you're good. Okay? There, I just bottom lined it for you. Start building an email list from zero. I'll show you how to do it. I'll show you how to capture the emails every day. I'll show you how to build it from nothing to something. Send the email that I write for you every week. I'll write 52 of them this year. And send the email and you're good. You're good. You're good in any business for the rest of your career. When you're done and you want to walk away into the sunset, whenever that day comes, sell your email list. It could be worth 50 grand. It could be worth 500 grand. That's totally depends on how responsive and valuable it is. That's it. That's all. And I'm going to show you soup to nuts how to do it all. Emailmillions.coach. Emailmillions.coach. I've made it coffee a day affordable. It's less than a cup of coffee or 2 cups of coffee a day, $3.25 a day. Are you kidding me? Don't say it's about the money. Just say you're not serious about building your company into an empire, because it's the honey that brings in the money for a cup of coffee a day. So $147 a month for outsiders, $147 a month for outsiders. Only $97 a month for insiders, guys that are in my masterminds and newsletter brothers. It's less than a coffee a day, $3.25 a day or less. And man, oh man, I'll write the emails for you. I'll show you the software. I'll tell you how to build the list. I'll work with you. I'll train you. I'll show you how to write the emails eventually, so you don't need me. I'll help you be independent. You won't need me after the year. You won't need me. So emailmillions.coach. That's emailmillions.coach. And the deadline is May 31st. And there's only a few spots left. And once the doors close, the doors close. It's going to be a small little mastermind. I'll write the emails. I'll send you an email every week. You can send it to your list and personalize it. I'll do an online training once a month to show you how my copywriting ideas. And I'll teach you how to do what I do so you won't need me after 12 months. And coffee a day is what it'll cost you. Emailmillions.coach. Emailmillions.coach. If you don't like the program, cancel at any time. Just let Leanne know. And no hard feelings. Just, that's it. I'll still be driving the same vehicle. Don't worry about me. So that'll be it. Emailmillions.coach. And you might accidentally make yourself an extra $2,000, or accidentally make yourself another 50 grand, or accidentally make yourself another $110,000. The sky is the limit when you build an email list and build a relationship with it. Let me help you do it. Emailmillions.coach. I look forward to working with you this coming June.